This video discusses the University of Washington Data Processing Agreement, a publication of the UW Privacy Office. After completing this video, you will be able to describe what a Data Processing Agreement, or DPA, is, and why we have a UW DPA, define key terms that are used in a DPA, locate and use the Privacy Office's DPA workflow, complete the UW DPA, and recognize issues that can arise when engaging third parties. A DPA is a set of contractual terms that help ensure legal compliance, document each party's roles and responsibilities, develop mutual understanding of how data will be processed, and protect personal data. Many businesses, nonprofits, and agencies create a form DPA to meet their own needs. The UW DPA is designed to address a diverse set of laws and regulations that relate to the breadth of educational, research, and business activities conducted at the university. The UW DPA also upholds UW values and privacy principles. There are a few terms that may be helpful in understanding other parts of this video. First, the term personal data is very broad. It encompasses any records or information relating to an identified or identifiable natural person. Second, data processing is another broad term. It encompasses any operations performed on personal data, whether or not by automated means. A controller is a person or entity that determines the purpose and means for data processing. It is one of the two common roles a person or entity may have in data processing. A processor is a person or entity that performs data processing on behalf of the controller. It is the other common role. UW DPA is used to describe the DPA that relates to one kind of relationship, where the UW is a controller and a third party is a processor. This relationship is the most commonly encountered here. Other relationship types, such as controller to controller and joint controller, can be addressed by other similar UW DPAs provided by the UW Privacy Office. Contact the Privacy Office if you encounter a relationship other than controller to processor, as the other relationship types are often more complex and have different privacy risks that need to be assessed by the UW. More terms are defined in the UW Privacy Office glossary on the Privacy Office's website. This video is one component of the Privacy Office's guidance on using the DPA. The Privacy Office's website contains additional resources. Among those resources is a DPA workflow located at privacy.uw.edu/design/agreements/DPA. That workflow details activities adjacent to using the DPA. These include viewing this and other online training, inventorying the data processing that is or will be conducted, depending on the inventory's outcome, completing a privacy impact assessment or a DPA and SCC decision support tool, engaging the appropriate additional office, such as procurement, understanding intent and key terms, downloading and using the DPA, downloading and using the standard contractual clauses, navigating third-party revisions, finalizing the DPA, and managing third-party relationships. Throughout the process, responsibility for ensuring adequate privacy protections are in place and for evaluating and making decisions about privacy risks lie with the unit. It is the unit's responsibility to ensure the UW DPA or equivalent contractual terms and conditions are in place as needed. To meet that responsibility, it is often easiest to introduce the DPA early in the contract negotiation process. When preparing to initiate a new relationship or renew an existing relationship, determine whether a DPA is appropriate. The UW Privacy Office publishes a DPA and SCC decision support tool to help make that determination. The UW Privacy Office also publishes additional videos describing how to use that tool and explaining the SCCs. In order to complete the UW DPA, there are 3 areas of the document that require input from the UW unit. The introductory paragraph identifies parties. There are several blanks in that paragraph that should be filled in. The description of data processing exhibit, which appears as the last page of the document, typically requires input both from the UW and from the third party. Often, the UW can complete the nature and purpose, categories of data subjects, types of personal data, and university contact person fields. The third party typically completes the processor contact person and subprocessor's fields. Finally, the signature blocks must be completed. To learn who should sign a DPA for the UW, review the guidance on the UW DPA page. Sometimes, third parties will propose modifications to the DPA. Most of the time, decisions about whether to accept those modifications lie with the unit. Modifications, even seemingly small ones, can have big impacts on what the agreement actually does. Use caution and clarify with the third party why they want particular changes, understanding their interests may not align with the UW's. The UW Privacy Office is able to provide advice about modifications when the relevant criteria published on the UW Privacy Office website are met. Some third parties prefer or insist upon their own DPA. Use extreme caution when evaluating whether a third-party drafted DPA affords equivalent protections to the UW DPA. Some vendors will suggest that their online privacy policy addresses privacy adequately. A privacy policy typically addresses the relationship between the third party and the individuals. When that is true of a privacy policy, it cannot substitute for a UW DPA, which addresses the relationship between the third party and the UW. New questions do arise with the DPA. If you don't find answers in this or the other UW Privacy Office materials, please contact us at uwprivacy@uw.edu.